with the itinerary, and we'll talk about, you know, when we fly out roughly, and once we get there, how do we get to the hotel? What's the hotel look like? And then the first day of diving, if you can both tell us about how that's going to work. Tell us about the food. What's the food like? What are we doing at nights? Are we just going to dump everyone to their own devices, or are we going to be going and causing trouble in the town and in the markets at night? I don't know what's planned. And then so day one and right through till the end. So if we could step through that, who wants to lead in on that?
You want me to lead, Sharon? Okay. So Sharon's really been the machine behind putting the itinerary together. And my job with anyone that comes to us for trips is really just to hopefully coordinate it all and make it all happen. So between us, we have come up with a great deal. Starting off with the itinerary, we're looking at flying as a group from Brisbane, and we've chosen to fly with Jetstar from Brisbane, who have a morning flight on the day of departure, and get into Denpasar sort of around midday. We'll organise transfers for the group from the airport to the hotel, so hopefully it'll all sort of coordinate with a check-in time in Sanur, and now enough time for any delays with, as there often can be when you're travelling with customs or whatever, so that we're not getting in too late that first day. We have organised the hotel that we've picked. We've gone with, look, there's quite a few good sort of 4-star standard properties in Sanur. Bali is a very cheap destination. It's cheap to stay. It's cheap to eat. And big variance on standard of properties. So I think we've found the property that we're really quite happy with, that's suited the price and suited the location, so that we're not having to travel too far on the dive days to get to the boats to head out. That was really the main reason for the location. We've included dinner first night for the group, so we want everyone to arrive and have a welcome drink and settle in and have dinner on the first night, and then the diving will start the second. We've included breakfast every day at the resort, which will be early on the dive days. So I think it was about a 6:30 brekkie, wasn't it, Sharon, for the dive days when we're heading off early for our transfers.
Dive days is lunch.
Pardon?
Dive days, all the lunches are provided.
5 days of all the lunches are provided by the dive crew, and we're also including dinner at the resort. They do a buffet dinner on the last night that we're there. So the other nights, look, Bali is really a destination that you can go out. There's a lot of nice dining choices, a lot of nice fine dining choices if you want to go out to town. And there's also a plethora of just general restaurants and bars and markets and different things that you can eat at as well. You're going at a time when it's going to be quite dry, so we're avoiding the rainy season. So Bali tends to be nice and warm all year round, but it's not a wet time, so it's really the perfect time to go in the winter. I think we've got 2 free days that are not the dive days. So look, they are potentially, Bali is one of those destinations that really does have lots to offer everybody. You get your party young'uns go there, and you get your 5-star people who really want to live it up and be treated like a queen. And it's really a destination when you can sort of be as busy as you like or as relaxed as you like and suit things that are going to do your budget. My sister actually lived in Bali for 2 years. So she was kind of based there. She used Bali as her base while she was traveling in her job. I have been there a long time ago, but I'm going to Bali again next year. When I was there, we actually did, one of the things that I loved was doing a day trip from sort of the beachy warm areas up into the mountains, up into Ubud, and getting a little bit of a feel for just the culture, the arts and crafts, the rice paddies, and sort of being out in the hustle and bustle. So it's really something to offer everything. It's quite a spiritual place. The Balinese people are really lovely people, and they're not a wealthy people. Wages aren't high, so getting around is really cheap in Bali. So from doing surf lessons to going to Ubud to going to your bars and your clubs, and it really does have something to offer anything. And Sanur used to always be quite a sort of a quieter area away from all the bars and club and nightclubs of Kuta, but sort of a quieter area, but still handy to all those areas if you do want to go out and party. What else can I tell you? Jetstar with our flights that we've included. So what we've done with the flights to put these sort of groups together, we want to be able to secure seats with different hotels and different airlines. So we've secured the seats with Jetstar. They sort of came up with the dollars. The timing was good with Jetstar too, in that it was an afternoon departure coming home, which meant an evening arrival home. So it sort of wasn't doing that red eye home, which was the Virgin option. So we secured with the seats with Jetstar. Jetstar will give us 20 kilos of checked baggage per traveller, plus 7 kilos of hand baggage per traveller. Extra baggage, I know someone did ask me about possibly taking some dive gear and how much what was extra baggage. The answer to that is extra baggage is not cheap. Jetstar, it's not cheap with anybody, particularly internationally. And Jetstar, if you did want to take anything over the 20 kilos, was $25 per kilo over. So hence why it's great that all the dive equipment that you're going to need for your dives is being provided by the operators over there.
That's a good touch. And what I've said to Susan,
Yes.
Sharon, is as we start to explore other sites around the world, that when you talk to dive operators, say to them, we're only coming if you give us the dive gear, no charge. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Because dive gear, you're probably up for about 15, 16 kilos, and it only leaves you about 3 or 4 kilos in for your clothes, but then you've got 7 in your backpack as well. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's the plan. Sorry, Susan.
But the thing is with the dive equipment, this dive operator, we've got a lot of confidence in their equipment and their servicing of the equipment.
Yeah.
So,
and they're a very reputable operator from my understanding. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So Jetstar, part of the group's offering, we do get to block sort of group seats off for our groups, and we've got a group traveling great. We whilst we can sort of set everyone in a group area, so that's the advantages. It is a Jetstar flight, so everyone who does want to eat will buy their meals. You can buy them on board. You can take your meals on board. I recently just flew Jetstar to Phuket, and look, I can't complain. The check-in process was easy. Yes, you pay for what you get, but they're on the dollars, and they were great. So flights are with Jetstar. Accommodation we touched on. We have based it on the lead-in room type with the accommodation. So it's quite a nice, a pool view room is their lead-in. For anyone who was wanting to upgrade to a pool access room or a room with a balcony or something, better let us know, and we can let you know what the pricing is if you do want to pay a little bit more and go up to a higher room type, but that's certainly an option. I just wanted to touch on the insurance side of things too, if that's appropriate to do that now, George. So look, we obviously going to Bali, we're doing any travel insurance is something. Some people may have travel insurance linked with their credit card. They may have a policy already, or we can offer a policy for you. We work with a couple of operators who do include dive cover. So when we are emailing you back with details of the trip, we'll give you a quote for that insurance. Whether you take that or not, it'll either be yes, you've taken ours, or we'll get the details off you who you're insured with. In addition to that, Sharon, you and George recommended that everyone has DAN membership,
Yeah.
which is another dive membership. It's cover that's specialising purely in diving, so hyperbaric chambers and sort of goes above and beyond what your normal travel insurance does. So when we're asking about that membership, that's the information we're capturing there, but it's certainly not a replacement of your insurance.
Yeah. Can I just step in? So you're doing Covermore, is that right?
Correct. Well, we do with a couple of companies, but Covermore was actually priced better once we tick the dive cover. Correct.
Yeah. So just so you all know, I actually get a Covermore annual travel policy, and it includes Sharon. And there's some specific things that for me is if I hire a rent-a-car here in Australia, you know how a rent-a-car's got $10,000 excess or something? the cover more actually reduces the excess. I just can't quite remember what it reduces it to, but I have claims every year, and I was in Fiji early this year. I had 3 cancelled flights on 3 consecutive days, which meant 3 nights accommodation. And you just go online, you scan your receipts, you lodge a claim, and then mysteriously 10 days later, you get $600, $700, $800 come back into your account. It's really easy, and it covers you for any eventuality. So yeah, definitely embrace.
Hopefully we won't have any cancelled flights.
No,
but they do happen, and you're quite right. They do have a travel delay clause in there, so we'll send you all the info with that. New things that are happening. So as an Australian, I'll be getting everyone's passport information sort of before we get final payment and ticketing. As Australian passport holders, you'll get a visa for arrival for Bali. So you arrive, and providing you've got no criminal convictions and they're happy to let you in the country, you'll pay your $50 roughly Aussie to get your visa on arrival. There is a new, it's been in the news the last few days, there's a new tourist tax of about $15 that Bali is introducing next year as well. That's sort of to protect the environment or whatever, but we'll share all of those details with you as well. So there's no surprises there. Yeah, great destination, and I'm not a diver myself. I'm actually a snow skier, and I'm heading to Canada on Monday, but I am thinking about diving sometime, because this is a great trip. Yeah, it's really well priced, I think, for the inclusions. It looks excellent.
Susan, is it no vaccination okay now, is it?
No vaccination is okay now. I think there's the only country that is asking for COVID vaccination now is that I've come across of recent is Vietnam. And it's only if you're going into certain tribal areas. All countries there's no mandatory COVID vaccinations anymore. It's still recommended, but there's no certificates or proof of to be shown when you're there.
It's still recommended, yeah, okay.
Yes, everyone's recommending it, but no, there's no.
Yeah, okay. And will you send us, and what's the place we're staying called?
The hotel that we've held, I don't know if we added it onto the new flyer that's online, but it's the Prime Plaza Hotel in Sanua. And Prime Plaza Hotel. Now there is a Prime Plaza Suites and there is a Prime Plaza Hotel. We have the Prime Plaza Hotel in Sanua, so that's where we're holding our rooms at the moment.
And you said Hill View rooms.
Pool view rooms. That's kind of their leading category of pool view. So they all have a
view.
It's
pool view. Pool,
pool view.
Yeah.
So they're all pool view rooms. But look, the resort, it looks lovely. It's got a restaurant. I think it's got a swim up bar. It's got a couple of pools.
Oh, yeah. I think it's got 3 restaurants, 3 bars. One's including a pool bar.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And it's got a very Balinese vibe to it.
Good.
Lots of trees and fountains and statues and.
And were these prices based on twin share, were they?
The prices are based on twin share, per person twin share. So the single, for people who are travelling that want a room to themselves, based on the pool view room, the single supplement is $320.
Yeah.
Well, for the whole trip, $300 for the whole trip.
For the whole trip.
That's madness.
Yeah.
Sharon.
You should have separate
rooms. I know, it's great.
Oh my God, why wouldn't I, hey?
Yeah.
Down the pool so I can just go straight. Now,
you're evil.
That's diving snorkel. We like to play in the water downtime. And I'm hoping the pool's nice and big. Because we do.
Looks pretty big.
Yeah, we do this pyramid thing. We get, a whole heap of people, 5 across, and then we get another group of people standing on the shop. We do a big pyramid.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no shit. And we're hoping that works. Now,
wow.
We do a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, right.
Shannon's asking about BOA. BOA finishes in early 2024.
These are on arrival.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes. What's Shannon asking?
He's saying it's finishes in early 2024.
Well, VOA, at the moment it's still active. If it does change and it needs to be done ahead of time, we'll let you know. But at this stage, it's still visa on arrival.
Okay.
And how much, sorry, George, how many months do you have to have in your passport left?
Oh, 6 months minimum. Yeah, pretty much anywhere you go internationally, from the last date that you're there, you need at least 6 month validity on your passport. Just a heads up, it's quite appropriate to let you know about your passports. Look after your passports. There was an article in the paper recently about a gentleman that had a tear in his passport and was denied boarding, and it actually happened to a girl in our office recently, where just the photo page was just separating from the seam in the passport, and depending on the carrier or the country, they may not let you board. So yeah, ridiculous, but always look after your passports. Don't.
Are you coming with us?
I'm not.
Oh.
No, I'm.
You can.
No, I can. Yes. No, I've got. My travel year is kind of planned. Otherwise, I'd be very tempted.
We might need you to travel with us with the
You
numbers.
might.
Tell us what to do. Do this, go here, go there. So they want to think. I don't like thinking.
Yeah.
So how far, once we get to the hotel and we've eaten, or we might choose to eat at the markets. Yeah. How far are the markets away? How do we get there?
Oh, look,
Okay.
Sanua to Kuta, look, I would suggest 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
It's a 15-minute walk from the hotel to the markets. 6-minute walk to Sanua Beach. It's a half-hour shuttle, I believe, to Dennis Bar.
The hotel does do a complimentary shuttle quite regularly into and out of town. The night markets are an experience for anyone who has experienced Asia before. The night markets in Bali don't disappoint with the sights, smells, and sounds of Asia.
I'm actually looking forward to that more than anything.
It's very customary to barter in Bali, so they want you. And look, I remember years ago when we did do the night markets, it was kind of, you'd wander through the night. The minute you paid any sort of attention to wanting something, you would have a team of people following you till the end of the markets to buy. But look, that's just the experience of Kuta. So it's great. There's lots of cheapy things to be bought there. Lots of nice, I have lots of travellers go over, lots of Balinese wood carvings and furnishings and different things, and arts and crafts, particularly up in the mountains if you're wanting that sort of thing.
How far is a med, Susan?
Pardon?
How far is a med?
Ubud.
Oh, it's a med, sorry, yes.
Look, I think you can actually, in Bali, so you can do an organised tour where you go along with a tour guide. You can also, it is very cheap in Bali if you want to just organise a car and a driver for a day. And look, don't quote me, but maybe $150 you would have a car and a driver for the whole day to take you wherever you want to go. So it can be a really cheap way of getting around. Ubud, I think, is about an hour in each direction. It's certainly cooler up in the hills. It's just really pretty. It's lots of rice paddies. It's some beautiful resorts and beautiful restaurants. Lots of art galleries, and yeah, it's just a very different Balinese experience than down by the beaches. So,
how far from Kuta would we be?
How far from Kuta? About 15 minutes.
Is that in Kuta as well? Kuta, that.
Kuta, 50 minutes, I think, an hour on a shuttle.
Yeah.
So Kuta is sort of like the opposite side of the island of Sanua. So if you want to get into the seedy place and go out for a night and go to Kuta, we can do that. We can all organise a night out.
Yeah. It can be fun.
What we're going to plan to do is have those sort of options.
Yeah.
And I think we're all going to walk to the night markets on the second night, and
I'll get a map out later. So where are we staying? Sorry, I'm being really thick. My brain isn't braining. We're staying in Kuta, are we?
In Sanua, Sanua. Sanua.
SAM for Mary, UA.
S for Sam, A for Apple, N for November, U for uniform, R for Romeo. Sanua.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And the reason we picked Sanua is because the dive boats that are taking you out are based in Sanua. So it's not going to be a long transfer to get there for the dives.
Yeah. Hopefully Alex will be on soon. I've spoken a lot to him. And we've got you going to a location where there's 25 plus dive sites. he's going to hand pick the sites that you're going to go to on the day in relation to the conditions and what's going on over there, but he's going to take you so you can get the best experience under the water.
Yeah.
And also there's a day which is a shore dive. It's a shuttle trip, and it's going to be at the US Liberty Wreck, which is a world-renowned dive location.
And the thing about the Liberty is that it's 6 meters depth, like it's on an angle. So if we're free diving and snorkeling, the free divers, you'll be able to duck dive down, and snorkelers, you'll also get to see a lot of good stuff as well. So this trip ticks the boxes for snorkelers, free divers, and scuba divers. Yeah.
And every location that we've picked will cater for divers, snorkelers, and free divers. So you'll all be able to go together in the group and have fun.
And Shannon, when Alex comes, we'll get him to ask you questions about Manta Point and sunfish, okay? All right, what else? What else do we need to know?
Well, when we arrive, we've got the dinner. I'll quickly go through the itinerary. And then the second day, we're doing Nusa Penida, which you've got a triple dive and a very scenic boat ride out to 3 locations. And then that night, we were thinking we could all walk to the night markets if you want to. Then we, on the second day, have the Tullambum, which is the Liberty Wreck. I'm trying, this is all from memory. The day after that, we've given you a free day. So you can go to all these lovely places Susan is suggesting.
I can actually send a link around.
Get a stroll to Kuta.
Yeah, I can actually send a link around as well.
Yeah,
I'll share some information just on some of the tours and the places that you can do. I'm just looking at the itinerary for you, Sharon, to see if I can bring it up on my
On that free day, you've got an option for a night dive.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah. Anyone keen on night dive? Anybody keen? I'm not keen on night dives, to be honest.
That's why we've made it an option.
Why are you not keen on a night dive, George? I'm just curious.
Depends. I've got to feel comfortable there. I've done a couple of thousand dives.
Yeah.
And probably only done about 10 or 20 night dives. So I'm very particular, very choosy. And Kerry May.
Where is she?
She's there, Keza. We need to finish your...
Shannon's just put a comment up.
Off. Alex is coming online now.
Fabulous. Oh, I can see the chats there now.
We won't see him.
We won't see him. That's okay.
I know he's got a British accent.
Now, Katie's asking, is there a list of confirmed tours and destinations for 2024?
Confirmed tours?
Yeah.
That is something that we can arrange quite easily.
Yeah? Okay.
I'm looking into that.
Oh, for your day tours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get that information.
They want, we can share a list of options, and people, can decide amongst yourselves if you're going to go your separate ways or want to do something as a group or whatever. I can give you plenty of options there. Hello, it's a little person.
Oh.
Yeah, there is a lot of options and not too expensive to get there. There's temple tours if you want to do that. There's a zoo.
Yeah.
There's the botanical gardens. There's all sorts of things around the area. Where the hotel is right in the middle of where all the shops are. There are day markets there as well. There is a big shopping centre, lots of restaurants and boutiques and shops, and so we're right in the middle of it. But then at the same time, we're only a 6-minute walk from Sunil Beach.
Okay, great. Right, yeah, so we've got out. So is there any other questions on the itinerary before we move over to Alex? And someone just asked about pricing.
Yeah, pricing, is that for the trip or?
Yeah, so Hayley, if you scroll up on the chat, I'll put a copy of the brochure there, and it's got a price for the basic, which doesn't include snorkeling. It's just hotel, air, and transfers. And then there's a
And
snorkel.
meals, a lot of, breakfast, 2 dinners,
Yep.
that
And
type of thing.
Snorkel, free diving, and a scuba rate. Shannon's asking, if you do the zoos and monkeys, you'll have a longer visit with border security.
You
Shannon,
get
I'm
a
really
bit of mud on your
looking
boot, you
forward to
will,
meeting you.
Shannon, absolutely. Yes.
And Katie's asking, can you have a Gold Coast departure option?
Look, our Jetstar flights are ex-Brisbane at the moment. I don't think there's anything going Gold Coast Denpasar at this time.
And
So
it's
it is
much more
flight.
fun.
Caitlin, you can always drive to our place, park your car and come with us.
Yeah.
It is a 7:30 a.m. departure, and check-in is 3 hours prior, so it's going to be an early
Oh, that's all right.
that day.
We've done 3
That's okay. We can sleep on the flight.
We've done
Yeah.
3 a.m. departures from the Gold Coast.
Yep.
All right, if there's no further questions, we'll switch over to
I
Alex.
just have one, George.
Yes.
Sorry, Margie here. Yeah, what's the cap you have on the number of you're taking in the group? Is there a limit?
That's up to Sharon and George.
Yeah.
No, there's no cap, but
Or you just got the
we've got a
deadline?
limit on this price.
Yeah, sure.
We've kept it really, really good.
Yeah, yeah.
The price will go up significantly once the spots are taken.
Yeah, no
And it's a
worries.
really genuine price that we've put together.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's right. It's one of the, look, it's probably one of the cheapest dive trips on the market at the
It
moment.
is the cheapest at
Yeah.
the moment.
Yeah.
Could I fly from Melbourne?
Yeah. We'll actually run you up to Brisbane, and then you can fly with us out of there.
You can come and stay at our place, Kerry.
We've only
In
got
Hollis Manor.
we've only got 7 bedrooms.
Tornado.
7 bedrooms here. Welcome, April Carter in Melbourne. How are you?
Oh, hi, April.
She's there somewhere.
Okay.
Anyway, look, we're going to move on to Alex. Alex, how you going? Can you hear me? You need to unmute your microphone. There you go. Hey, how are you, Alex?
I'm good, thanks everyone. How you going?
Good. Thanks for coming on board.
No worries, my pleasure.
Can you see all the images of all the people on the screen? Can you?
I think so. I'm a bit of a geek when it pretty not super into Zoom, I must admit. But yeah, I think I can pretty much see everyone. Some people seem like they got the cameras off. So hi everyone, how you doing?
Hey,
Good, Alex.
hey, Alex. And by way of introduction, you guys are a yes, Josh. Give Susan a call, or there's also a booking link that's been published, and we'll put that up again tonight. Alex, so tell us about, you've got an accent. That's the first question. Second question.
Yeah, I'm
You're
a
not
Pom, sorry.
Balinese.
And you guys are a Paddy Dive Centre. How long have you been in operation?
Yes, sir. So we have been in operation since 1996. We were Indonesia's first Paddy career development centre in all of Indonesia. And yeah, we've been operational since 1996. So yeah, we've been around a while.
Beautiful. So you come highly recommended by Hans Ulrich, who is the regional director of Paddy Asia Pacific over here in Australia.
New Zealand and Queensland, yeah.
And I had a lot of deals with him. So we're really proud that we've linked up with you. Now, we're going to do a bit of diving with you. And we understand you can provide a bit of scuba gear for us as well. Thank you for that.
Of course, no problem.
So all of the dives are boat dives except for the one where we do the USS Liberty. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Yeah. So the 3 locations that we kind of got earmarked out for you guys is going to be dives around Nusa Penida and Nusa Lembongan. That's one area. The second area is called Padang Bai, which is an area on the east coast of Bali. Both of these are going to be boat dives. And then the third location is going to be the US Liberty Wreck, which is northeast Bali. And that's going to be a shore dive for that one. So the history basically of the US Liberty wreck was that it was a transport ship, obviously, from US Navy, and it was carrying cargo in the World War II. Got torpedoed not far outside of Bali and was heading up towards the port. There's another port just north of Tulamben, where it basically was taking on so much water that it couldn't carry on its journey, and they ran it aground, and it was out of the water with just the big majority of the boat out of the water. It's a 123-meter ship. And then in 62 or 63, I can't remember exactly, there was a very, very large eruption in the volcano, and that obviously caused the land to shake and the boat basically to fall on its side, but still in relatively shallow water. So the shallowest part of the wreck comes up to like 3 or 4 meters, and the deepest part of the wreck is around about 30 meters or so. And it's, you know, it's been in the water or underwater, shall we say, since 63. So it started to break up a little bit, but it is still very clearly a very, very large wreck with loads and loads and loads of life growing on it now. It's a breeding ground for small fish. The coral that grows around Bali, I'm sure you guys know, but Bali and a lot of Indonesia sits inside the Coral Triangle, which is a part of the ocean that has the most diverse coral anywhere on the planet. So it's quite a large area, goes up to the Philippines and most of the cross of Indonesia. But we're very lucky here that due to the amount of water movement that happens in this part of the world, the coral diversity and the coral health is really, really beautiful, especially around Penida. The coral there is absolutely amazing, but all around the east coast of Bali and in this whole area, the coral itself and the diversity of the coral and the health of the coral is amazing. So we have 0 coral bleaching here, and everything is beautiful, as it has been for years, to be honest. So the wreck dive itself is going to be a beach entry. It's a little rocky. But we provide booties and open heel fins for you guys. If you're going to bring your own equipment, I highly recommend booties and open heel fins for that dive and for the dives that may be a little bit of current on around Penida and Padang Bai. And we basically just walk into the beach and we swim out a tiny little bit, and the wreck is right there, 125 meters worth of amazing wreck to swim around. You can spend 4 or 5 days on it and not see all of it, if I'm honest. Yeah, that's going to be. Apologies, my dog's just going mental. That's going to be one of the dive sites. Nusa Penida is going to be the other dive area. And there's loads of dive sites around Nusa Penida, but this is my favorite part of Bali to dive in. It's where the coral is most beautiful, and we have, you know, super, super healthy reefs, wall dives, and sloping drift dives pretty much. And then you have a couple of iconic dive sites here, in addition to the US Liberty wreck around Penida, such as Manta Point and Crystal Bay, where we have obviously mantas that are usually, never say never, of course, it's the ocean, but relatively predictable, reef mantas. And yeah, the coral around that part of the area is absolutely stunning. Padang Bai is kind of like a little bit of a mix of both, to be honest. So the diving here is nice and easy. We're going to go there first. So you get you guys nice and comfortable. It's kind of sloping reefs. Again, breeding ground for small fish. And here you have also the chance of larger things, but also there's a lot of macro here, right? So there's, you know, like crazy leaf fish and scorpion fish. You've got all different types of nudibranchs. Last time I was in Padang Bai, I saw a hairy octopus. So, you know, the life and the health of the reef here is super, super beautiful. If you've never dived in this part of the world, I think you guys are going to be super, super happy and hopefully blown away by what you see. And of course, we're going to make sure that you have a great time with my team while you guys are here outside of the water as well.
Okay. Shannon was asking if the boat dives are drift dives.
Yes, so around Penida, yes, they will be drift dives, but we assess the conditions on the day to make sure that we're taking people to appropriate dive sites. So we are not going to take anyone to any dive site that is beyond their ability. The diving around Bali can be challenging, if I'm 100% honest. In some places, the currents can be strong. But if you dive at the right time of day and you pick the sensible dive sites, then usually you get a nice easy drift and you're not going to get any kind of crazy conditions. Again, it is the ocean, you know, sometimes we do get down currents that are unpredictable, but I would say that we are conservative in our dive sites and we pick places that will make you guys comfortable and you'll have a nice easy drift and just sit there without kicking and just you know, kind of sit there and watch this amazing reef kind of drift by you. That's the best kind of diving, right, where you don't have to do any work.
Mm.
And
Caitlin mentioned a comment before regarding, is there as much to see as snorkeling as diving?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. So the snorkeling will also be drift snorkeling. So the snorkelers will basically sit on the shelf around Penida, at least anyway. You kind of sit on the shelf, so you don't get like a very steep wall to begin with. From the beach, it kind of is a gentle slope that drops down from from the beach. It'll slope gently. The reef starts around 3 or 4 meters and gentle slopes down to about 12, and where it gets a little bit steeper down to about 18, where it gets steeper again. But you will see the same diversity in the shallow water. The water around Penida and around the whole Bali, to be honest, is very nice. It's very clear. You'll have just as much of the amazing reef in that shallow water as you will in the deeper water. At the sites like Manta Point, for example, it's a cleaning station. So sometimes the snorkelers can actually see more of the mantas than the divers on occasion. So yeah, you'll have a great time in all places, and all dive sites that we will take you to will be suitable for snorkeling and for diving alike. So there's no stress about that.
Shannon's just asked something about a dive medical certificate.
Yeah, so in Indonesia, it's not required a dive medical certificate for fun diving, but it is obviously for you guys in Australia.
Thank you.
So if you want to go diving, we will follow the rules for Australia for your trip. I think you will need that anyway for your insurance to cover you in the unlikely event that anything goes wrong. I would guess that you would need that. So yeah, we will be asking for your usual kind of dive medical that you would need from Australia to go fun diving anyway. There'll be a liability release also for you guys to sign that George has, or that I can send George as well, the standard PADI liability release. And of course, anytime that you're doing any kind of these activities, you need to make sure that you have appropriate accident insurance in case anything goes wrong. But we have a very good safety record. I don't expect that to be any issues, of course, but obviously you can't ignore the need for those kind of things. Yeah, all of the boats that we use, so I hope 100% honesty, we don't own the speedboats that we use here. We rent the speedboats, but all of the speedboats are designed for diving. They come with a 2-crew team that are used to diving, obviously, and working in those conditions and know the oceans absolutely better than anyone else. So they all come with, well, we make sure that we have oxygen, all come with life jackets, everything that you would expect from a normal, for want of a better word, westernized diving operation. All of these things you will obviously have when you come diving with us.
Got a lot of confidence in you guys.
Where's the nearest hyperbaric chamber?
There's 3 on Bali. The nearest one to Sanur is going to be in Sangla, which is in the hospital in Denpasar. There is one further up on the east coast of Bali in another hospital called Kasih Ibu, and there's one at the very north of Bali. So they're all within a very short distance drive away from Sanur. Or en route back from Tulamben, for example. So Tulamben is actually only in distance 80 kilometers away. It's Indonesia and it's Bali, so it takes a little bit longer than you might think to drive that 80 kilometers. But yeah, you're always never far from a hyperbaric chamber, should you need one, of course.
Brilliant. Okay, so
Was there any questions that popped up we didn't answer?
pretty well, I think most of them have been spoken to. So we're going to have divers, snorkelers, and free divers in the same boat. So
yes,
we'll be able to manage that dynamic.
Most definitely, yes. So everyone will have their guide, right? So the divers will have a specific guide, the snorkelers will have a specific guide, and the free divers will have a specific guide. So every team will have their own guide, and they are all renewed and insured, at least minimum PADI dive masters. The vast majority of my staff, apart from a couple, are all instructors minimum. That's how we operate. So you will always have someone with you, of course. Obviously, the free divers know their specific procedures of what to do and how to operate their free dive procedures. Snorkelers obviously be on the surface. That's super easy, but there will always be one of my staff with every single group. Depends obviously how many people you bring. If it's a small-ish group, we may mix divers and snorkelers on the same boat. Or if it's a larger group, then each team will have their own boat, which will also help to, if we need to, diversify the sites, if we want to do that in different places. But to be honest, all dive sites in Bali are good for snorkeling and for diving and for free diving in the same procedure.
Okay. And what happens to the gear? At the end of the day, do we have to wash the gear? It's your gear. Do we?
No, you don't. So we will take care of all of that. We're a full service dive center. We will keep all of the equipment at our dive center. If you guys prefer to bring your own equipment, of course, that's no problem at all. We will take it from you and we will wash it and hang it and pack it and make sure that all of the logistics is taken care of by us. All of the meals, snacks, water, refreshments, fruit juice, fruit on the dives, towels, everything that you're going to need. You basically just need to turn up with your swimwear, your sun protection, and a smile on your face. And hopefully, most definitely, you'll be leaving with an even bigger smile once you're finished.
Nice. Now, look, I've got some of our guests that are in the 60s, some of them 70s. And, they may have a bit of a hip problem or a shoulder or a bit of arthritis. And, we've traveled around the world a bit already. And a lot of the dive shops give us a little bit of VIP service. They help them get on the boat, maybe take their gear off before they get on. Can you cater for us in that area as well?
Yeah, of course, most definitely. I mean, there's no need to carry equipment up a dive boat ladder, so that is our procedure anyway. Nobody carries the equipment up the ladder. As long as you guys are strong enough to pull yourself up a ladder, a normal speedboat ladder up like about 1.5 meters out the side of a normal sized 12-person speedboat, you guys will be absolutely fine. But yeah, nobody carries their equipment up the ladder of the boat. Anyway, it's going to be backward roll entries. If you guys have not done a backward roll entry before, we'll show you how to do that, which, anyone can fall, right? So there's no issue getting in. If you need assistance on the beach dive, walking in and out, of course, me and the team will make sure that those that need assistance get all the assistance that they need.
Sure. A couple of questions.
We've got a question just here from Tanya.
Who's directed? So Tanya's asking.
It's a shore dive and snorkel.
It's a shore dive. And
for the Tulamben is a shore dive and snorkel. Yeah. So the US80 Liberty Rec. So one of the days that we have scheduled for you is a shore dive and shore snorkeling. Yeah. So walking in and out from the beach.
What's the deepest that the Liberty sits at?
30.
Around about 30. Yeah. You can get a little bit deeper if you really want to, but the good stuff is between 30 and 3.
Yeah. And it's not a penetration dive.
There are a few areas of swim through. There's no real in-depth penetration, and we don't penetrate the areas of the wreck unless you guys are either tech or full wreck penetration. We're not going to take you in any of the areas that can be considered full penetration. There are a few swim throughs, There's a cargo room. It's a giant open room where there is pillars, but there is light coming in all around. So I would consider it more of a swim through in certain areas, but no one will do anything that they are not comfortable with. And once you kind of see it, if you guys have a look at the photos or Google it, you'll see, it's a very simple to navigate wreck. It's not like any of these crazy wrecks that you see in the Red Sea, or, it's not like Zenobia where you're losing light. We only ever follow the rules. We're not going to take anyone into a place that they're not certified to go into. Same for depth limits as well. We will stick very strictly to depth limits of your certification level.
Yeah, look, I don't want us going. I don't want us going to 30 meters or even deeper. The GCB. Just hang on a sec, Sharon. The philosophies of Gold Coast Dive and Snorkel. Hey, it's got to be fun. No currents. You want to go in depth. All the good shit's up at 10 meters.
Yep.
So
completely agree.
One of my divers.
And the snorkeling's just as good.
Yeah.
Yes, most definitely. Yeah.
One of our
Most
divers,
definitely.
and I won't tell you who it is. He's an air pig, and he carries 2 18-meter tanks with him wherever he goes.
Wowzers.
I got 2 obvious questions. One of them is, what are your rules? What are your requirements? When do you come to the surface? Is it 50 minutes? Is it based on air? What's your rules?
Yeah, based on air is the answer to that question. So we don't have a time limit on dives. We will dive for as long as you guys' air lasts. Most fun divers, like you say, are diving around about 40 to 60 minutes, depending on their air consumption. And we'll obviously manage that as we need to. If there are people that are using a little bit more, there's always a way that we can elongate the time. Usually staying nice and shallow and doing nice, easy dive sites will help that. But we don't have a time limit. Everyone back on the surface at least 50 bar. Yeah.
Okay, and 2 more questions. What type of tanks you got? Are they steel or alley?
Yep. Aluminium tanks.
12 litre?
Yes.
Are your BCDs got integrated weights, or is there weight belts?
No, we have integrated weights, and all of our rental equipment is diving with wings. So you will need a little less weight than probably what you guys are used to, especially if you're used to diving in a jacket style BCD. So you guys are going to be diving with less weight, which 100% will help with air consumption as well.
Rightio. And if we're going on a double dive, you take the tanks with you on the boat, all the tanks?
Yes. Yeah. We will make sure that you don't need to do anything. You're not going to carry anything. You're not going to lift anything. You're not going to put your equipment together. You are there to go diving, and that is it. We will take care of everything else.
Okay. Margie I've got 2 more questions, and we'll go to Margie, and I know Sharon's got a question. Water temperature in May, and do we need to wear wetsuits, please?
Yeah, water temperature is going to be around about 26, 27 degrees in May. It's not yet started, or at least usually. It is the ocean, right? So never say never, but it's usually has not started to cool off yet. The water starts to cool off around end of June, and into July, August, September, and October. The water can be cold, especially around Penida. But in May, you are, especially we're talking early May, right? You're going to be nice and toasty. We usually find that people wearing 3 mil shorties are more than comfortable. Nothing too thick is required for that time of year for sure.
So is it a wet?
If you don't. Sorry?
Is it a wet boat? We're going to get wet on the way out
there? There is a roof. The boats in Padang Bai are a little bit smaller. But yeah, I wouldn't bring anything onto the boat that you don't mind potentially getting wet. Yeah, of course, right? It's a dive boat. But yeah, I mean, of course, you can bring your cameras, but you don't need to bring a change of clothes. Don't bring your computers. It's a dive boat, and diving is the sole purpose. But there is a shaded area that you can sit into to keep yourself out of the sun. And of course, if it rains, that will obviously keep you out of the rain as well. But, we're going diving, so I guess we don't mind getting wet a little bit.
Okay. And Margie Robbins is asking why not wearing open heel fins, and that's at the shore dive. Can you explain that again, Alex, please?
Yeah, so you will wear booties with open heel fins, right? So you're not going to wear full foot fins. Full foot fins are generally fine for snorkeling, or for diving in areas of the world that have no current at all. We have beach entries, and the rocks are, I wouldn't say they're big, but they need a little bit of extra support, and you're going to be way more comfortable wearing booties and open heel fins. Plus, open heel fins are going to be stiffer, and they're going to give you the proportion that you're going to need in the unlikely event that something goes wrong and there is a current, right? So full foot fins are not going to be strong enough. They are not safe, in our opinion, for diving in this part of the world, and we do not use them. So it will be booties and open heel fins for everybody.
Beautiful.
All equipment is included in the price.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Sharon, you had a question.
Everything.
You had a question, Sharon?
Did I have a question? I don't think so. I think so. I think Hayley had one. It was about the visibility for snorkeling. Hayley, is that been answered? Oh, and the duration of the trip, Hayley wanted to know.
Yeah, 6 nights, 7 days.
7 days, 6 nights, yeah. And we've given you 2 days off to explore. We've got 2 days of triple dives, a day of double dive, snorkel, free diving on all, when I say that. And the wreck dive is a double dive, snorkel, free dive.
Okay.
Sharon, what was the stipulation when they're flying? Was it 18 hours after the last dive?
The last day is off.
So we're all good to
Yeah.
fly. Yep.
So you're going to have about 36 hours, I think.
Perfect. Yeah, we would always go with 24. Obviously, you guys are running your own trip, but minimum 24 just in case. Right? It's no need. But you guys, I think, as you said, you've got a day off on the last day, so you can chill and explore, which is perfect. Yeah.
And they can sit by the pool in the afternoon and have cocktails.
Nice. All right.
Sounds
I'll go
horrible.
to Cuba,
I'll come and join you.
Rogers.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I'm getting cuter.
So now, is there any questions about the itinerary or the diving, snorkeling, free diving from anybody?
I just wanted to say something about the itinerary.
Yep.
So what I've done is I'm going to collate, and with Susan's organising a lot of information in regards to the tours, what we want to do. And there's different people that want to do different things.
We can get
so we'll have all that information ready for you before we go to Bali.
Yep. And those that want to sort of lock something in can, and those who don't will have a bit of an idea on what's an off of when they're there, if they want to wait and see.
So we need to know what you want to do, and then yeah.
Sure.
All right. If there's no further questions, is there any other questions? But anyway,
well, we've got the group chat on Gold Coast Dive and Snorkel.
Yep. Hayley,
and
Hayley's asking about the pricing.
Hayley, if you're not going to do any diving or water sports, it's $1995. Snorkeling and free diving is $2595. Yeah, I think this is off memory, and diving is $2795.
Correct.
Breakfast included, 2 dinners included, all lunches and snacks on the dive days.
All your airport transfers, your transfers to the boat, your merch.
That's pretty.
Oh yeah, you're all going to get $100 worth of merch thrown in there as well.
All your dive gear.
All the dive gears included.
Lunch every day.
Okay.
Towels, anything. You don't need to take anything on the boat.
And can you leave all the humour to me during the trip? I'll be.
Oh God.
Yeah. All right. So this has been recorded this evening. If no one's got any issues with that, I'm going to put it up on Facebook so others can listen into what's been said.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yes, Sharon.
And I'm sorry, Susan, if I'm cutting in here. No. It's really important to understand that we only have limited spots at this price. So for you to secure your spot, you need to put a deposit down.
Yep.
Because we've got a lot of people that are going that haven't pressed the go button on the event. So people have said, hey, 9 people have gone, I'm going. But out of those 9 people, a lot of them are booked, but there's a lot of new people that have come on board.
Yeah.
That are booking.
Cool. All right.
So,
yeah. Questions, after tonight, you can go straight to Pulse Travel. On the flyer, there is an email address there, gcds@pulsetravel.com.au, and also their phone number, 3004 6666, or you can message
George.
Sharon. Or
I'm impressed with how that just rolled off your tongue, George, that number then. It was great.
I've been doing it for 20 years. And if it's diving related, if you want to get certified as an open water diver, I'm a PADI dive instructor. We're also encouraging people to learn how to free dive. If you don't want to go scuba diving, and I'm doing a lot more free diving these days because you don't have to carry big tanks on your back, and it's really liberating to get under the water, and you're diving down to the depths and you get close to the marine life, and it's just an incredible experience. So anyway, look, if there's no further questions, we'll wrap it up.
I've got 2 questions.
Yes, who?
One is, how much is the deposit? And the second one was, why is it more later?
Sorry, how much
does the price go up? How does that happen?
Okay, so we've only secured so much space at airfares are going to fluctuate constantly. So we've actually held some flights at the moment. And once they're full, the airfares will be higher. The deposit is $400 per person. So what will happen is we get your expressions of interest, as we get your, hey, you've emailed us, or you've messaged me, or you've clicked on the booking link. I'll go back to you, confirm, yes, are you doing the dive? Are you're traveling as a single? Is there any questions? We'll then invoice for you for the deposit. And then once the deposit is paid, your spot is secured. Basically, with the airfares, look, airfares have been, travel is in demand. General rule of thumb with flights is as you get closer to departure, the fares will get higher. And already the fares that we've managed to secure, it's more expensive at this time. So once we've kind of filled our initial quota, pricing will go up. One more thing with the insurance, obviously the deposit is non-refundable, so it's a commitment that you are going. If you were to have a change of mind, you could transfer your deposit onto another traveller if you hadn't had someone else that could take your spot. And it's always a good idea to have your insurance in place when you start to pay money, so that if you get sick or something unforeseen happens and you can't travel, we've got that protection for any monies that have been outlaid.
Okay, and so why is it non-refundable?
Because we're paying once you've got the commitment deposit, we're going off to the airlines and the dive suppliers and the hotels and the transfer companies to secure the space, and their terms are non-refundable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be great if it wasn't.
It'd be a great.
That's the hard part, put it together.
All right, no further
Description of the deposit, Shannon, just your surname, Bali drive trip, your booking number. If you've got the booking number from me, that'd be great.
I've got a question.
Yes, Bruce.
Hi, Bruce.
Hi.
Shannon's doing it now.
Costing is including the airfares?
It is.
Or is that separate?
It is including the economy airfares. So it's including your airfares, your transfers, your accommodation for the 6 nights, 2 dinners, 2 breakfasts, and all your dives.
2 dinners, 2 breakfasts? Or is that breakfast every day?
Sorry, 2 dinners, breakfast every day, and all your dives.
Yeah. Why?
It's actually really good value.
Why do the names of all the towns in Bali sound like food, like Nusa Pedang? It sounds like something
If you're hungry, probably.
George, you got to stop thinking about food.
Starting already, Sharon. All right, any other questions? No other questions? Anyway, you've got access to Sharon, Susan, myself, and we're here to help you. And
when I'm skiing really like to Whistler, I'll have a team that will respond on my behalf. FYI.
Yeah. So so with Pulse Travel, you ring 3004 6666. Ask for Susan if she's not there.
Sound like Dick Smith.
We got an office full of people there that will answer all your questions that have been trained. So Sharon, Susan, and I got together with the team today and trained them, so they're ready to take your inquiry. So
Great team.
call now, 3004 6666.
Oh, Shannon's just put down paid.
Love your work, Shannon.
He's not going to miss out.
All right, folks, thanks very much. Looking forward
Can
to
I
seeing
just,
you.
Lovely.
there was
Lovely
one thing I
thinking.
wanted to just say. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of questions coming in tonight. And if you really get onto the brochure that we've put together, all the information's on there. All your breakfasts is included, your dinners. And under there, George, did you attach the itinerary?
No, I haven't.
Okay, George is going to attach the itinerary.
And
Oh,
we'll
you'll
send it
actually
to you
know what's
as well.
going on.
All right, there's a flyer.
And also, any other questions that you've got, because I get onto the group chat at least 3 times a day. And Susan's been on it and her team will be on it. But if you got any other questions, doesn't matter how crazy you think they are, just get onto the group chat on Gold Coast Dive and Snorkel, and I'll get back to you with an answer, or Susan will get back
Sometimes
to you.
with
Or the
groups
team.
too, we get asked questions that we haven't thought of, or that something's
Yeah.
come up, and we'll share that answer with everybody. So if it's relevant, so
Okay.
And what you want to see is going to be important too on that group chat. We want to know what you want to do.
fabulous.
So we're going to get a bus basically all together, are we, up to Brisbane Airport?
Sorry,
Oh.
Jodie?
Sorry, am I muted? Hang on. Oh,
No,
no.
no.
No,
So you say you're going to get a
oh,
bus
yeah,
up to
we can
Brisbane
hear you.
Airport.
We'll just jump on a bus, all of us, will we, up to Brisbane Airport? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, we can. What happens normally on a trip is we do a bit of a carpool from the Gold Coast,
Oh, righto.
and
A lot of people meet at our place and leave their cars on our acreage.
yeah, we're prone to an odd tornado and a few ghosts.
All right. So that's not, I just wanted that was part of the.
No, but listen,
That's
we'll, if we know, look, the demographics of GCDS is you're probably going to find that there's going to be, 6 or 7 of us coming up from the Gold Coast.
Okay, Shannon.
There'll be 15 out of Brisbane. So
Cheeky thing you are.
Yeah,
ones-
okay.
the ones on the Gold Coast, we'll look after. We'll make sure that we head up together. Okay.
Yeah.